Welcome back to North of the Broad. We now have Virginia Henneberry. She is a development associate for the Friends of Caroline, and she's here to talk a little bit about Friends of Caroline and the new Caroline's Cottage.
Yes.
So Virginia, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
There's so much, we were just talking earlier, there's just so much to share.
Yes.
So let's start with a history of
Okay.
and kind of where we are and the services you provide, and then I really want you to talk about the Cottage as
Okay.
well. So,
Well, Friends of Caroline started in 1977. It was the first nonprofit hospice in our area in Beaufort County. And it began with a group of volunteers that came together to take care of our first patient, who was Caroline Kwan, hence
Okay.
Friends of Caroline. Caroline Kwan was a young woman in her late 20s who had been diagnosed with cancer and chose not to seek curative treatment for it, but wanted to spend her last days at home and not in a hospital. And our original volunteers got together and were able to take care of her. And they took care of her medicines, they took care of her personal needs. And so she could pass it home with the dignity and the respect that she wanted at that time.
right. Wow, very
And
good.
from then we've
grown.
evolved and grown into more than just a hospice service. Friends of Caroline is now the umbrella that is over our palliative care, our hospice care, and also our grief support services.
So there's a lot of misinformation about hospice, that it's at the end of life. You call hospice when you're close to passing in the last few days or last month. That's not the case, right?
That's not the case. With hospice, hospice has had this stigma in the name that just has transcended over generations of they think the worst of the worst, that hospice is who you call when you are 2 days or 3 days, or it's just there's nothing else you can do. And the actuality of it is that hospice is there at the time when a terminal diagnosis is given and you are choosing, or there is not a curative treatment available. You have the ability to call in hospice at that moment. And it's proven that actually the sooner that you can pull hospice in, it's medically proven to improve the quality of the patient's life and been able to extend their expectancy in that field.
And so when you say pull hospice in, what kind of individuals would help someone that's maybe 6 months from passing or whatever?
Well, our team consists of, and with our hospice, we do not require a doctor's referral. That's the number one thing that a lot of people believe, that they need a doctor's referral in order to call and get our services. And you don't. You can self-refer. If you have a neighbor that you're concerned about, you can call and we will make that approach. But what our team consists of is that we have 2 medical directors who are both retired physicians in our area. We have Dr. Gordon Kruger and Dr. Stephen Kessel. We have a team of nurses that are all hospice nurses.
Right.
And certified RNs. We also, our team is developed with certified nursing assistants, with our CNAs. We have a chaplain who is also on services. We have a social worker that comes in and helps with any financial questions or planning that you may or may not have realized that could be available to you, or things that you would need. We also have a team of volunteers that are specially trained as patient volunteers who can come in and assist even during COVID times, depending on the comfortability level of the patient and their families.
Yes.
And with our chaplain services are there and they meet our families at whatever their religious level is. So if
Very
it's
good.
from extremely religious to I would just rather talk to someone, we meet our patients not only where they are, but wherever they call home.
Right. It's the Cottage.
Yes.
So you're raising money because
We
we
are.
don't have a hospice house. What you're talking about are going to people's homes. So
Yes.
talk about the Cottage and what that's going to offer.
Well, the Cottage is my baby. Caroline's Cottage is going to be an 8-bed inpatient hospice facility that is solely dedicated to the philosophy of hospice. And what it will offer, we will offer 4 levels of care, which are residential care for patients who may or may not have a caregiver in the home, or their caregiver themselves is not able to care for them.
Right.
We will offer transitional care, which is that time and place when you may be transitioning from a curative treatment, if you've done all of your treatments, and now is the time to transition into hospice. We would bring you into the home, stabilize you to transition you to your home.
Right.
We will also do acute care that is going to be offered, and that is where your patients may have pain symptom management that needs to be handled, or if there is another issue that's going on and we are not able to really get it under control at home, we would transfer our patient into the home, again, get them stable, get them settled in order to bring them back home. The last piece of the puzzle that we will offer, and I think is so drastically needed in this area, is respite care.
Yes.
That is a place where our patients would be able to come to our facility. They would be able to come to the cottage for a stay of 3 to 5 days, so their caregivers
Can have a break.
can have a break if they need to go away for the weekend, if they need to do something, or they just need time to themselves. Because
good.
being a caregiver
Is exhausting.
monumental itself. And
Virginia, our time is up.
Oh,
Thank
gosh.
you so much. But we're going to put on the screen the number for Caroline's, Friends of Caroline.
Yes.
Also, your email address if anyone would like to donate,
Yes.
learn more.
This is a 100% donor-driven campaign,
Right,
and we
right.
do have a $5 million campaign. Right now, we are at $2.65 million in cash and pledges, so we're a little close.
good.
We're about 53%, but we do need the community to not only make that donation, but make an investment.
Yes, thanks,
Yeah.
Virginia Henneberry.
Thank
The passion
you.
is there.
It is.
I feel it. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back with North of the Broad.